All right, sounds good. Welcome everyone to Waking Up in 5D, week 4, chapter 4. How's everybody doing? Was everybody able to read the chapter?
Yes, I did
Most of it.
yesterday.
Yeah. Um, this chapter, why am I forgetting the title? My goodness.
Tools.
Yeah.
We're increasing our tools for 5D living and signs are there. I'm going to close my door real quick.
Okay. Yep. The tools and the signs. There it is. Okay. Did any of the tools resonate with anyone? Does anyone have any experiences they want to share with the tools or any of the tools that really jumped out for them? Or like setting a clear intention each day, ask for help from God, guides, higher self, or life itself. Bless ordinary actions and bring sacred attention into daily life. Use nature, gratitude, prayer, meditation, and healing supports like energy medicine. Amanda and I were just talking about some different tinctures and different mushrooms and things. Choose what aligns with love, truth, integrity, and peace. Stay playful, observant, and willing to learn from your experience. Willing to learn from your experience. I am willing to learn from all of my experiences.
Earth school. I really like the eating the sun, facing the sun meditation.
Mm,
Morning. I've been doing that for so many years. Anybody else? Sun gazing.
I've done that before. I don't do it so much in the winter, but it's something that I'll probably pick up again in the summer for sure.
Mm, yeah.
Hmm.
I have been getting it through the window. I prefer to be outside, but when I'm doing the dishes in the morning, the window is angled such that I get the perfect morning sunlight coming in. Um, and the playfulness, that was a good reminder. I need to
Yeah,
be reminded to play all the time because I can be serious and take life serious and myself serious and other people serious. And it's just way more fun to be playful and bring
yeah,
in the inner child.
yeah. Oh, David just shared a beautiful. I wonder if I can
I'm not
share
a
that.
sunrise kind of a guy. I just don't
Yeah.
have that view. So I see a lot of beautiful sunsets and stuff. And yesterday
Mm.
I just shared a picture with, I didn't know how to share it with I don't know if you can, Rebecca.
Is it on your iPad, David?
No, it's on my iPhone
Okay. I
and
don't
I'm
know if I
I'm
can.
talking to you. I'm using the iPad for Zoom.
Okay. But yeah, you can do the sun eating with the sunset as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't have to be in the morning. I think, it's just how are you practicing? And the more you practice that being the frequency and the vibrations and the thoughts and the feelings that you are experiencing, the more the 5D level of being or beingness or choosing that is just there with you all the time, constantly, consistently. Like the more you practice it, it just becomes your normal. It just becomes how you live. It's your lifestyle. It's how you reside. And then if you get out of it, then you're more aware of it instead of being out of it and not aware of it and then only aware of it occasionally when you're in it. Does that make sense? I think I'm saying that correctly. But, so the more tools you use, and I think maybe like the tools too, they can change when you need them. Like you're maybe not going to use all of them all the time or at the same time, right? We're going to choose different ones that maybe like match the situation or sometimes like you said, Amanda, it's like the ones that we remember. Like I have to remember to play too. I have to remember to let go and have fun and not make everything so significant. I have to remember to ask for help. And, that asking for help piece to me is even greater than that. Like, all of you who know me know I ask questions all the time. I was hanging out with David a little bit yesterday, and I said to him, my question recently is and has been like, where do I have my blinders on and I'm not seeing the full scope of everything? Where am I so linear and focused that like this is the only way that something can happen. So, are there things that you desire to have in your life or desire for your life to be? Like maybe it's just play, right? So, where am I not playing and can I be playful when I'm working? Can I be playful when I'm doing something that normally is significant to me or heavy or where I'm normally very serious? Can I shift my energy to a playful sense of being with it? So just asking questions, more questions, more questions, more questions. I got a ping to get out my book of all the questions that I sent to some of you. So I'm gonna get that out again and I might go through and create like an audio version and then just have it running in the background. I thought maybe that would be fun to have for us. So yeah. Anybody else want to share their experience with tools or which tool in the chapter is feeling like the most like it contributes the most to you right now or is the most natural for you to use right now? Like I said, there was ask for help, there was bring God energy into everything, connect with the elemental kingdom, the nature. We just shared that with the sun eating and the sunsets. Work with your dreams, meditate. I know a lot of us meditate. I try to meditate. Amanda and I are recently using an app on our phones that really create some dynamic um, neuro and nervous system shifts. It's called New Calm with meditation. Be playful, expand the use of healing modalities. I know a lot of us, David uses a lot of different healing modalities. I use a lot of different healing modalities. Unhook from aging. Can we reverse age? Can we
Yes.
expand our telomeres?
Yes.
I know, Amanda, you and I were on by ourselves a little bit ago, and I was thinking, I mean, we're both like, you're going to turn 50 this year. I turned 51, and I'm like, I don't feel like I'm in my 50s. Like when people ask me how old I am and I have to say I'm 51, I'm like, that doesn't line up for me. That just feels really strange to say. I'm 12. Sometimes when I talk to ChatGPT or AI, I do say that, like, treat me like I'm 12 and you're explaining this to me.
12 is a great age. That's seventh grade. I was having a ball in seventh grade.
Cool. I enjoyed, let's see, I enjoyed like 9, 10, 11, and then I enjoyed more like 16 and 17.
Mm. Hmm. I liked the
Um,
reminder of the body conformations on page 90. I underlined about the goosebumps or the God bumps.
Oh,
It's a
yeah.
powerful yet simple sign that your body is in resonance with your words or
Yeah.
someone else's words in the moment. I was messaging a friend this morning, and she is a minister or was a minister through A Course in Miracles. She's been
Hmm.
studying and teaching the Course in Miracles, and she recently stepped away from it and is going direct to Jesus. And I said, I was affirming that with her through my voice. And I said, yes, Jesus is the way. And my whole body, oh, it's doing it again, just like got this reverberation of goosebumps. And they kept coming, just waves and waves of energy moving through my body. Um, and it reminded me of that piece of the chapter.
Yeah, I think there's definitely something to that energy of like especially what Jesus taught and um how he lived his life. Like he definitely lived in 5D and it was his lifestyle. Like he was a great invitation and a great example of that for us. And in his expression of it, she has a lot of tools and she has a lot of things that she talks about, right? But in anything, I think it needs to be our expression of what 5D looks like and what 5D is for each and any one of us. Um,
Yeah, because
that's
at the last page, she was talking about the Great White Brotherhood. I haven't heard of them before. She talks about, she has a little blurb about them on 96. H.P. Blavatsky and Nicholas and Helena Roerich in their works Isis Unveiled and Hierarchy describe the Great White Brotherhood as a group of immortals who maintain an active watch over the world from their risen place as ascended masters. So, yeah, I believe
mhm.
Jesus was one of the ascended masters.
Oh yeah. Hmm. Amanda, you were talking about some of the aches and pains you've been having in your body.
Hmm.
Is some of that your 5D body conformations?
Say more. Because I started using the tool these past, well, just yesterday, because that's when I read it. Of does it have to hurt? Where was that? On page 94, in the middle of the page. If you're in physical pain, recite the mantra, does it have to hurt over and over until the pain abates? I did use that yesterday when I was in pain, and it did help. I did
Hmm.
notice a down regulation of the level of pain that I was experiencing just by continuously asking that question.
Hmm.
Does it have to hurt? Yeah, using that question to open up the field of possibilities to allow the physical body's electromagnetic frequency to recalibrate and like to break that pain signal pattern that my brain is picking up on. That's a journey.
Also, sometimes I ask weird questions like, what do you like about the pain?
You've asked me that before. Yeah.
You know?
What do you like about the pain?
So, yeah.
It
I-
feels like sometimes pain, we use it to define us. So, I have a broken ankle. I have to use crutches. Yeah, and then either
Yeah.
to elicit sympathy and some other stuff versus do I need that pain?
Hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Feeling
Um, you talked about that with your dad a little bit too, David, how it became his identity. And I think a lot of
diabetic.
people,
I'm a diabetic. He had introduced himself. I'm Bob Picking. And within a few minutes, I'm diabetic. Always came out. and
Wow.
yeah, and it defined everything he ate. All of his meal choices weren't heart smart, diabetic smart, but he would throw it out every time. So he was wrestling with it in some ways, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. So how many of us, are identifying with the different things that are going on in our lives like that? Ew. I just got like a big ol' like, holy cow, that's a huge one. I think we're lying to ourselves too
Yeah.
with it. Like it could be, it doesn't just have to be about pain. Like it could be about money. It could be about your looks, your
Relationships,
weight, your what?
relationships with others.
Relationships. Yeah. Yeah. Super interesting. Ooh. Oh. Like that's a really big one. Oh my goodness. Like how many people do you know identify with their weight? Like my sister, she is uncomfortable with her weight and she's struggled with it for so many years. And so does my mom, but they like identify with it and they go back and forth and it just bothers them all the time. And so instead of sort of like surrendering to it and not allowing it to be like their focus of not having the weight, like their focus is not having the weight, right? Like I want to not have the weight. And so then that's all they focus on instead of just what if they were to just live their lives and just like, oh,
Allowance.
yeah. Like, what if you just were happy? Because I
This is
think
who I
their
am.
belief is I can't be happy and I can't live my life and I can't have that freedom that I want. And if I don't look a certain way, like if because I have this weight, I'm unhappy.
Mm, it's conditional.
Yeah. So how many things are you lying to yourself where you're thinking that you're unconditional and you're not really? You're conditional.
Everything.
The 3D.
PD.
Well, I doubt that it's everything, but I do. That's
No,
where I
it's
said,
not. I
like in
was
the
being
beginning of this call, like I've been asking that question, like, universe, show me all the ways I've been freaking lying to myself. I have
Mm,
the blinders on, right? I like how she also says, like, claim no more karma. I've had that for a few years now. Like, karma's done, karma's gone. And then Jackie asked last week something about forgiveness, and she keeps saying in the book all the time, like, don't decide to forgive because forgiving means you're still holding them in place of judgment. So forgiveness to me is when I open up to like unconditional love and it doesn't hold a charge and I let go. Like forgiveness to me is I'm no longer going to bring up this situation. I'm no longer going to hold it in my field. I'm no longer, forgiveness to me is just making a statement for me and the other person that says, like, there's no karma to this.
no more energy attached to it,
Yeah,
negative or positive.
right. There's no debt to be paid.
mm,
Like sometimes I think people think in order for me to forgive you, there's like some kind of unspoken debt that has to be paid. Or like, I'll forgive you when your
mm.
suffering is enough.
Right. or you've apologized enough to me.
Well, and if somebody's unwilling to forgive you, can you apologize enough? I don't think you can.
No,
And maybe
it's a
that's also what
scorecard. I mean, really.
what,
So
David?
it's a scorecard that we're
Yeah.
using.
And maybe that's also what she's trying to say, like let go of the need for forgiveness because then there is no debt that needs to be paid. The debt has been paid, or there isn't anything, there's no such thing as a debt that needs to be paid.
Right.
Yeah, on page 81, in the middle, she talks about resentment.
Yeah.
All resentment is a form of resistance to that which will keep you young. When you preserve your right entitlement to withhold love, your ego is establishing its territory by validating the past. This is what ages you and retards your progress to becoming fifth dimensional. So, yeah, she's talking about it in a little bit of a different way there around resentment, which ties into that good, bad, right, wrong judgment of
Yeah.
self or others. Like, how
Yeah.
much do we resent ourselves? And that locks us into the linearity of 3D aging loops.
Yeah. I like how she talks about go beyond mind altering substances too, because I don't really have a point of view or judgment about mind altering substances, but when you're using them, it's sort of like if you're constipated and you use constipation medicine. What is that called?
Laxatives.
Yeah.
Laxatives. If you use laxatives too much, though, then your body will get used to using laxatives all the time, and it will really wreck your normal way of digesting and eliminating system. So I think it's the same thing with like, even if it's just food, sugar, right? Sugar can be a mind altering drug. Food can be a mind altering drug. Coffee. And it can be heavier stuff too. It could even be pharmaceutical stuff, like,
Mhm.
right? I was just rereading the part on synchronicity because I forgot how she was saying synchronicity is a tool. Yeah, so it's like if you see a billboard or a license plate or a printed sign that gives you the answer to something you have been contemplating. When you hear a song in your head that doesn't seem to go away and matches the feelings you are having, or an event. Now, I I've used that as a tool, but I've also used that as a crutch because sometimes I find myself, and I've seen this in others, where they like use that too much and then they get hung up on it or they make it really super significant.
Mm,
Like I didn't see the sign yet, so it must not be true or whatever.
Or putting
right.
too much emphasis on a sign.
Yeah, like giving the power away to seeing the sign.
Yeah. I love synchronicities. They light me up. What was it? I was sharing something with you, and then I was driving home, and 15 minutes later, like the very word that I said appeared on the license plate in front of me. I don't remember what it was. And then it
Yeah.
happened again when I was contemplating my sister's mother-in-law's passing and on another drive. I do a lot of my good deep thinking behind the wheel, traveling, thinking about Barbara and how just like connecting to her energy beyond the veil. And I turn my head and the car passing me, like right in that moment, the license plate said Barbara. Like I've
Aw.
never seen a license plate actually say Barbara.
Yeah.
And it was instant. And I just had to laugh. And knowing Barbara, and she just was appreciating that from the other realms
That's a
too.
beautiful example. Yeah.
Yeah. Just little things like that.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Does anyone use crystal grids?
A little bit.
Yeah.
I could more.
That was the first I'd heard of it. It's kind of
Oh,
a learning
really? Okay.
opportunity.
Okay. Do you have crystals in your home, David?
Few.
A few? Yeah. Yeah. I have quartz crystals on a lot of my windowsills and corners in rooms. I use quartz crystal in my healing room. And sometimes I charge them and activate them, but a few years ago I had some really creepy neighbors. And I had a girlfriend at the time who did a lot with crystal work, and she brought me like a huge bag of all of these quartz crystals. And she's like, "These are gonna protect you." And she started to put them all over my house. So I just leave them there, and then sometimes I give them away. But I have a I have a lot of quartz crystal in my house.
Mm, cool. Quartz is an amplifier.
Yeah, it can also be a protector. Like you can build a quartz crystal, like she built like a grid, like it can be like a grid. Like they can all then connect together.
Yeah, they communicate.
Yeah.
You can also point a quartz crystal at another crystal and it will take on that crystal's properties. It
Yeah.
encodes its
Yeah.
crystalline structure. I don't want to say DNA. I don't know. Do crystals have DNA? I guess it's crystalline. And she talks about that too, how we're changing from carbon base to crystalline base. There's more information coming out about that. I underlined that on page 84 and I started to think about the structure of water
Mm-hmm.
and how
Mm-hmm.
more information is coming out about the crystalline structure of water. And I was wondering if there was a link there. I feel like there is
Yeah.
between the waters of the earth, our bodies, the energetics of water, which we're still like scientifically discovering more.
Mm-hmm.
Like what is it? The fourth phase of water. It's like a new phase of water that people are starting to talk about, like when it's changing states.
Oh, interesting.
And then the famous Dr. Emoto's experiments
Yeah.
of the water taking on the energetics of the intentional words.
Well, have you seen it where somebody puts like a glass of water on an image and then they freeze it and then that image turns up in the water?
Hmm.
Yeah.
It's fascinating.
Yeah, that's really interesting. David and I went to go see Project Hail Mary yesterday, and I found it interesting that the alien functioned from sound and crystals and different metals, like elements. And their language and how they communicate is like a sound and a frequency, like a vibration, like a. I just found that so freaking like it made sense to me. But like also when he was when you're in the alien ship or whatever, like there's so many different sounds that are through that ship. It was really cool.
Mm. And how they use telepathy? Is that how you say it?
Mm-hmm.
Telepathy?
Mm-hmm.
Telepathy. I feel like I'm saying it dyslexic.
No, you're saying it right. Telepathy.
Telepathy? I guess
Telepathy. No, you're saying it right. Okay. Sacred geometry, such a huge thing, tool. Like sacred geometry in nature, like in how we use it and um in math too, right, David? David's a big numbers person.
Yeah, it's kind of neat to read about some of those things that I was loosely aware of. And so some of those ratios that the golden ratio and everything, how they appear in our world, whether it's plants or all sorts of things. And
Yeah.
yeah, I do love math. And that was just something that I knew just a little bit about. So it was kind of cool to see. It sparked an interest that I need to look at that some more.
Yeah.
So my curiosity is really piqued.
Yeah.
so.
Like
I
as a
dropped a
universal language.
resource. Yeah, I dropped a resource about that in our WhatsApp chat. It was an interview between Emilio Ortiz and Dr. Samuel B. Lee. And Dr. Samuel B. Lee dives into in that conversation about sacred geometry and the next level of it and sort of the energetics behind the flower of life and how that works and compared to the energetics of the eternal lotus flower, which is the 12 pointed flower, which is God's source creation energy, and how, yeah, you guys can listen to it. I got like two-thirds of the way through it. I'm like, oh, this is too good not to share. I've been sharing it with people. Um, it's actually, I'm going to listen to it again because he's so brilliant. I've been following Dr. Samuel B. Lee for a few years now, and
That's cool.
he's onto something about the 12 dimensions. I don't know, I'm not speaking to it like he can, so that's why I dropped that interview in there as a resource for us.
Thank you. I haven't
So
taken a look
Thank
at it
you.
yet. I will.
yeah, it's really good. And Amelia Ortiz right now is one of my favorite interviewers on YouTube. The level of conversation and
Yeah.
space that he holds,
He gets into some really cool stuff.
like cutting edge ascension talks.
Mm-hmm.
So that's in our WhatsApp group.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hold on to your hats for that one.
Mind blowing. Orbs. She talks about orbs on page 93. I always see orbs when I'm taking pictures or like through my phone camera, I can see orbs more easily. I was down and I can feel them sort of. I was down in a couple years ago down in Ohio at a place called Hocking Hills. Has anyone else been there? It's such a beautiful area of our country. And my son and I stayed up on this hill ridge in a cabin, and there was a field out on the one side of it. And every morning I would go out there and have my coffee, and I could see the orbs there. Like, oh my God. I haven't seen them like that really anywhere else, but they were just like the little bit of fog would come up from the earth when it was like um what is daybreak, and the orbs would just be right around there. It was really cool. I liked that area. It felt good.
Hmm.
Good energy.
I wonder if you were on a particular ley line.
We might have been. Because that
Yeah.
area just has really good energy. Like the earth there feels really good. The humans that are around there want to keep that area unpopulated. There's lots of hiking, lots of waterfalls. It's really beautiful. We'll have to go there sometime, Amanda. I think you'd really enjoy it.
Mm,
It's a beautiful area.
yes. I'm in.
Um, and then she talks about handling uncomfortable symptoms, headaches, pains, joint pains. And then making God choices on page 95. When you are in 5D, there is no free will. What could this mean? In 3D, you have the God choice or the not God choice. The not God choice is the equivalent of making mistakes or sins. Think of a little child you are the guardian for who goes outside with you after a big rainstorm. What will the child do? Find a puddle and jump in it. You're going to let him play, and then when it's over, you're going to give him a bath and wash his clothes. Everything is fine. That's like us in 3D. We get dirty, and then we go back to God and become clean again. Why did that make you giggle, Amanda?
Um, it's like a permission slip, like the reminder again of being playful,
Mm-hmm.
not taking ourselves so seriously.
Yeah.
And I don't particularly resonate with the not God choice is the equivalent of making mistakes or sins. I don't know, there's a heaviness around that for me. I brought in my awareness of my human design. I'm a three line and trial and error, and I've really have been deconditioning the idea that I make mistakes and because it's just feedback
Do you
from,
want do you want to know my point of view of it?
yes,
So my point of view is that she's talking about anti-consciousness and unconscious choices. And I think like when she's talking about making mistakes or sins, she's talking about like um well, like maybe like the Ten Commandments, like don't kill people.
The
So I think
golden
it's
rule,
yeah, so
do unto others.
I think she's talking about like the not God choice um is more like when you're unconscious or anti-conscious or when you're choosing something that's meant to be evil or hurt someone or awful.
got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got a little triggered with the word sin. I grew up Catholic. I'm like, nope, I do not align with that word. And
Well, that's what confession's for. You just clear that slate.
oh my God. I was gonna be nasty there. Not towards you, just like inappropriate. It's my inner
Lynn,
rebel coming out towards the Catholic Church.
Lindsay, you unmuted, honey. Hi, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I like the whole chapter. I think um, she failed on that section. I loved the entire chapter, but that section, and I don't use those words lightly. If I speak, it's because I think that, oh, an opportunity was missed.
With the making God choices one?
Yeah, I
Okay.
do.
What
I
part of it specifically was like
the whole thing,
the whole
except
thing?
the very last paragraph. Um, I there was such an opportunity there to really universalize a really cool topic.
Yeah.
And the fact that she picked like marriage, like not cheating, whatever that is. And like I interpret it as like a fame point. I actually stopped and I went and talked to my husband about it. And I was like, ugh, it felt such like a missed opportunity. Um, because there's such some really amazing universal things that could be put in here. And like the Dalai Lama doesn't care where he sleeps. It's just a bad example. And like,
Yeah.
oh, the Dalai Lama is famous. I want him to come stay at my house, which is buying into a whole thing. And there are so many, like, we have a deeply wounded sexuality. I don't know if it's everywhere in the world, but in
Mhm.
this country, our sexuality is deeply wounded and we're living in this shadow around it. And we really need to start bringing it up to the surface. So I don't know who she is or what she thinks about, but I was like, man, you had me at everything except here. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and it was just, I do a take what you like and leave the rest. And I was like, well, I'm not going to bring it up unless they bring it up. But you brought it up. So here I am talking.
No, I'm glad you're saying it because I think that's just the point that I've been making like the whole time we've been talking is like what you said, Lindsay, take what you like and leave the rest. Your 5D experience has to resonate with you. And I agree with you. There are things in the book that don't resonate with me either. I didn't really make a lot of notations in this entire chapter because I think I think she missed the boat on a lot of different tools that she could have said. Yeah, I don't know. I'm hearing you. Thank you for saying something. This chapter did not it didn't wow me. It wasn't I think there are other things in the beginning of the book that were more that spoke to me more than some of the things in this chapter for sure.
Oh, I loved the whole chapter except that one part. But the
Yeah.
beginning of the book didn't really jive with me. It's so funny how everyone's
We're
experiences.
all different. Yeah. So, yeah, just your 5D experience, however you curate that for yourself, it has to resonate and be for you. Yeah. Does anyone else want to share anything? I know, Amanda, you said you really enjoyed the chapter.
Did I?
Yeah, you did.
I did. And what's been in the forefront for me as I'm reading is the awareness that it was written probably even before 2019. That's when it was published. So, like, consciousness has evolved so
Yeah.
much since then as a
Yeah.
collective.
Yeah.
And I know she's talking about these tools, and I love them as reminders.
Mm-hmm.
And it also reminds me of just different conversations and different experiences that I've had throughout the years utilizing the tools and the different ways that they've evolved too, like the sacred geometry. And it was interesting that I was listening to just on Saturday, the day before I read this chapter. So I wasn't aware that she was going into sacred geometry, and listening to that interview that I sent you guys.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, this information that's coming out now about the eternal lotus flower and the geometry of that, like that wasn't in our awareness 7 years ago, but
Mm.
it's here now. And the sacred geometry that we know, the flower of life, the pie, got us to a certain point.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm recognizing there's deeper and more elevated tools that our consciousness is ready for.
Yeah.
Start integrating. So I'm enjoying the book. I love sitting down to read it and utilizing, like reintegrating, picking and choosing like the ripe fruit off of her wisdom tree in the moment and throughout my days.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that I was like, mistakes. I don't make mistakes. I just live my
Yeah.
experiment and garner what works or what doesn't work outside of judgment. And yeah, just that language
Mm-hmm.
graded me.
Yeah. Well, and I think, I think there are groups of people that are where they are at, and there are people that are at different levels of understanding and their openness or their awareness or um what the information that they've received so far. And so I think that some of the concepts and things that she talks about in this book are a great way for people that are, either just beginning their journey or they haven't had a lot of guidance on their journey because they haven't known who to talk to or who to commune with or communicate with. I think it's a great tool for that, for people for where they are, and to bring up questions for some of those people and to say, like, what does she mean by this? Or I didn't even know that that was a thing. Or, wow, I'm so glad that I know that now. I think for some people, like the no more karma thing, I think there's people out there who are still really into karma and really still think about it. And so to give somebody the permission to say, karma is over for me. It's kind of like what you're saying, Amanda. Like there are no more mistakes, I'm not making mistakes, but again, you're also choosing to have that lifestyle to where you're living in 5D to the best of your ability. That's you're choosing that practice every day. And not everyone is choosing that.
Yeah. Timeline split. Train tracks are emerging, diverging.
Yeah. And there are some things out there that really resonate with me, and then there are some that don't. But, I think that there are all of these things that are available to us because we're all different. Not any one thing is going to resonate with all of us. If that were to happen, we would probably have world peace.
What did I hear? Perfection isn't the goal. Perfection would be the end of life. Like
Yeah,
if we reached perfection, there would be no more growth.
right.
And life is about growth and cycling through the birth, life, death cycle.
I think life is about whatever you want to make it about, too.
Oh, did Lindsay drop off?
She did.
Okay,
Yep, she did. So, all right, cool. Does anyone
cool.
else?
I have to hop off too. I have
Yep,
another call.
yep. Does anyone else have anything they want to add or say? No? All right. Thanks for coming on today, David.
Yeah. It
It's
was
good to
fun.
see you. Thanks for participating.
Good to see you, David.
Bye.
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 Bye bye.